Good evening, everyone. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali, and I'll be taking you to top news across Canada.
Ontario Integrity Commissioner pauses fourth stack and duo probe. TTC responds to outrage over online reporting options of safety concerns on transit. Police issue Canada-wide arrest warrant for suspected fatal stabbing at the Etobicoke Banquet Hall. E-bike rider seriously injured in Mississauga collision. Canada will hold special ceremony to mark May 6th coronation of King Charles Trudeau. Suspect arrested after allegedly throwing object at window of police station in West End. Doug Ford continues to see low approval rating amid Stag Party controversy report.
Those were the headlines, and now let's look into the details.
Ontario's Integrity Commissioner says he's temporarily setting aside a request from the NDP to issue an opinion on Premier Doug Ford's daughter stag and do event. Integrity Commissioner J. David Wake says in a statement today that while there are some flaws in the request from NDP leader Murray Stiles, he isn't outright dismissing it, just pausing it because there is an overlap with a related investigation. Stiles had also asked Wake to investigate what she called the curious timing of recent purchases of Greenbelt land by powerful landowners with the donor and political ties to the Ontario PC party. Wake says he and his staff are reviewing the extensive material gathered so far, have done independent research, and are preparing summonses for numerous witnesses to be interviewed. Foreign Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister Steve Clark have both denied tipping off developers ahead of the public announcement that the government would remove land from 15 different areas of the protected Greenbelt so that 50,000 homes can be built. Ford has acknowledged that some developers who are friends attended the $150 a ticket stag and do event, and media reports say lobbyists and government relations firms are also invited. But Wake says the only question that matters is whether Ford himself received any funds, which the Premier has denied. Police have issued a Canada-wide warrant for a 26-year-old man in connection with a fatal stabbing at an Etobicoke Banquet Hall last week. Officers were first dispatched to the venue in a plaza near Highway 27 and Steeles Avenue West at around 9:30 p.m. on March 10th for a reported shooting. However, once officers arrived on scene, they learned that a victim had been stabbed and had already attended a nearby hospital. That victim was subsequently pronounced dead. In a news release issued on Thursday, police identified the victim as 24-year-old Shaquan Harrison. Police also said the Omari Bent, 26, of Toronto is wanted for second-degree murder in connection with the stabbing. He is considered armed and dangerous, news release states. Police have previously told Awaz News that 10 to 15 shots were fired at the banquet hall, though no injuries related to the shooting were reported. One person was arrested at the scene and a firearm was recovered. Some Torontonians are calling out the Toronto Transit Commission's TTC new web form, saying one of the safety concerns that can be reported is cruel and unacceptable as it appears to target unhoused individuals in the city. Earlier this week, the TTC announced it will be expanding its reporting options for transit riders if they see a safety or security concern. On top of now being able to text TTC Transit Control, transit users can also report incidents online through the Safe TTC web form, and one safety concern that can be reported has drawn criticism online. Others echoed the sentiment, calling on the transit agency to immediately remove the category, while another questioned why and what is supposed to be reported, and do all unhoused persons looked unhoused. Operators with TTC's customer service were quick to respond to concerns on Twitter, saying the matter was being reviewed and that they are working to remove it from the form. Stuart Green, spokesperson for the TTC, confirmed to Awaz News Toronto in a statement, as a result of the recently expressed confusion about this, we are in process of clarifying the reporting language on the app. Green notes the language has been around since it was launched in 2017 and says that the intended use of the homeless category is to provide transit users the opportunity to advise the TTC of someone experiencing homelessness and in distress, which in turn would allow us to compassionately address each situation. Early this year, the TTC was at the pinnacle of the string of violent crimes which prompted increased police presence and enforcement leaving some transit riders questioning their personal safety. In January, the TTC hired additional security guards and special constables to address these safety concerns, but also noted there are societal issues to consider. Instead of enforcement, Lamb urged the city to invest in accessible warming and shelter spaces, overdose responses, and de-escalation tactics, among other community support. On Monday, Toronto Police announced they have ended their extra patrols of the transit system and will instead deploy officers when responding to emergencies and call for service. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada will hold a special ceremony marking the coronation of King Charles on May 6th. The ceremony in Ottawa will be one of the several events held over 2 days as Canada marks the investiture of its new monarch. Trudeau says the Canadian ceremony will acknowledge the special relationship that King Charles has had with Canada over the past 50 years as the Prince of Wales. Other details about the event, including how Canadians can watch, will be revealed in the coming weeks. The coronation will take place May 6th at Westminster Abbey and will be marked by procession, a concert at Windsor Castle, and other events. Ontario Premier Doug Ford's approval ratings have remained relatively stagnant over the last 3 months, a new survey has found. According to an Angus Reid poll released on March 15, about 33% or 1 in 3 residents approve of the Premier. Ford's approval rate sat at about 45% when he was re-elected in June 2022, but has since steadily decreased. March's approval rates appear to be the lowest since December 2021, when the Premier held an approval rating of 30%. However, the new data also represents a slight 1 percentage point difference from the survey taken in December 2022. The Premier has repeated the same talking points when asked about the stag and do, insisting it was a private event and that the Integrity Commissioner cleared him of any wrongdoing. The Integrity Commissioner was informed of the party after the fact. On Thursday, his office released an interim report saying that a further request by the NDP is being paused. At the same time, Angus Reid suggests the province's healthcare deal with the federal government, as well as its win in securing a new vehicle battery plant in St. Thomas, Ontario, could help Ford see a bit of bump in the polls. Overall, the only 2 premiers with lower approval ratings, according to the Angus Reid, are New Brunswick Premier Blaine Hicks and Manitoba Premier Heather Stefanson. An early Angus Reid survey conducted in mid-December suggested Ford's government was getting a frosty reception on the majority of issues by the public, including the COVID-19 pandemic, education, housing, affordability, cost of living, and healthcare. One person has taken to trauma center with serious injuries after collision involving a car and an e-bike in Mississauga. Beale police say the e-bike and the car collided around 6:20 a.m. at Mavis Road and Courtney Park Drive. The adult rider of the e-bike was transported to trauma center with serious but non-life-threatening injuries, police say. The intersection was shut down as police investigated the collision but has since reopened. A 32-year-old man is facing charges after he allegedly threw an object at the front window of police station in city's West End earlier this month. Police say that the incident happened at 22 Division near Bloor Street and Dundas Street West in the early morning hours of March 5th. It is alleged that the man attended the police station and then threw an object at the front glass window, causing unspecified damage. Milana Zik, 32, of Toronto, was arrested earlier this week and charged with a number of offences, including 3 counts of mischief damage to property under $5,000. He is also facing unrelated Highway Traffic Act charges, police say.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.